Hello, my name is Max Helgeson, and welcome to my presentation on wearable technology. My project centers on two NPR articles about a small camera that attaches to your clothing and takes snapshots throughout your day. I'm going to talk about the articles and the product which they review. We'll look at some similar products on the market, the overall idea of digitizing one's life, and the issues that are cropping up with these new technologies. At the end of this presentation, I have a couple of questions for you, which I hope might spark some discussion. So here are the hyperlinks for the two pieces, both from NPR. The first one is basically a review for a product called the Narrative Clip. As I said, this is a small 1-inch square camera that clips onto your clothes and takes a picture every 30 seconds until it runs out of memory or battery life, but it can go for like more than a full day. The idea behind it is that even though most of us walk around with a high-powered, camera on our phone, there are still a lot of moments that you wish you'd caught in a photo but didn't, or maybe you didn't know something would be important at the time, but looking back you wish you could see it again, like the day you meet your future spouse, for example. The second article is an interview of attorney Kurt Weimer, a DC lawyer who deals with privacy and data security. Robert Siegel asks him about our rights to privacy in the United States these days in regards to portable camera technologies and where and when we can have an expectation of privacy. And it turns out that a good rule of thumb is that if you can be undressed somewhere, like a bathroom, locker room, hotel room, or your own room at home, then you have an expectation of privacy, which means no one is allowed to film you there. If you're out and about, it's up to the policy of the establishment you're in, but if you're out on the street, you're fair game. They can film you all they want. Now, I'm not going to go into too much depth on either article because they're short, easy reads. You can even listen to them in less time than this presentation will last, and I'd encourage you to take a look or listen. Now, the articles were from 2014, and because of the pace of technology today, I'm showing you the new narrative clip that's just about to come out called the Narrative Clip 2. I have its specs listed here, but it definitely has some improvements, the biggest of which is now it shoots video if you want it to. Even the old clip, you could double tap it to force it to take a picture on command, and with this one you can double tap a button to have it record for a 10-second video. There is also an app for your phone that allows you to control it just like a regular camera that will keep on filming for as long as you want, or take as many pictures as you need while you look through the viewfinder in real time and see what the camera sees. It's got a better lens, more powerful, longer battery life, everything you'd want out of like a good sequel. And you can see here what it looks like and how it clips on. Now here are some pictures from the website of the narrative, and this is their idea of what quality you get and sort of things that you might be interested in taking pictures of or keeping pictures of. Now the app that they have is designed to sort your photos from each day by the location they were taken in and kind of group them together and even try to sort out which ones they think are the most interesting versus which ones they think are just, blah pictures of nothing. I put this picture in just because I thought it was funny. Stephen Mann is the guy in all these pictures. He works at MIT, and he's been trying since the late 70s to create life logging technologies that do exactly what the narrative clip does. Takes pictures regularly or tracks what you see. But this ties into a much larger group of computers that are called wearables. Wearables are just that, wearable computers. Whether they come in the form of a camera around your neck, a fitness watch that tracks your exercise and sleep patterns, or glasses to add content to what you see, Now with all these technologies out there tracking everything, people worry about how much information about themselves is out of their control. We learned about this in class already, so I won't rehash everything, except to say that people are right to be worried about the huge amount of data being collected by the government, by corporations, and by other citizens, because our legal system can't match the speed of the new developments. This leaves gray areas in what can be done with information about ourselves that we can't protect. Back in 2013, there was a controversy over Google Glass. These were a pair of glasses that had a small display field that you could use for directions and social media sharing and interacting with your phone. It also had a built-in camera that you could use to record video or take pictures. It seems like the idea of this was enough to send some people into a panic because there was a big backlash against the product where it was banned from a lot of restaurants, events, and places like movie theaters. At the time, it surprised me that so much was made of the glasses when it really shared the same capabilities as our smartphones, but I think the point was that people weren't sure when it was recording and when it wasn't. So if the Google Glass isn't okay, then what is it that separates some of these technologies that makes these acceptable and the Google Glass was not? We've got things like security cameras. Actually, that photo's from a Seattle bar where they really famously they were the first people to ban the Google Glass for privacy issues when they have a camera filming everything that's happening in the bar. Smartphones. Again, we all carry around a high-powered camera already in our pockets that we use regularly in public places that, everyone seems to be really comfortable with this. Or the narrative clip, or this new technology that we're reviewing now. This is something that I think a lot of people may not know what it is if they saw one on someone's lapel. I think that's mentioned in the articles that people thought it was a radiation detector or something like that rather than a camera. But what makes the narrative clip acceptable where Google Glass wasn't? Or is it going to be acceptable where Google Glass wasn't? Alright, so here's another silly kind of a slide, but it highlights the point that our legal right to privacy has come about through centuries of reactions to new technologies. The legislation has always been at least one step behind the tech curve. Samuel Warren first wrote about an American right to privacy in 1890 because of the development of instant film and its use by the press, who were, quote, overstepping the common grounds of decency to take pictures of people. And this is a common theme throughout history. Now, there are a lot more examples than I've listed here of new capabilities granted by technology that were not accounted for in law before they happened. Some of these on the list still don't have sufficient laws to govern them. But the big takeaway from the last class, and from this presentation should be that the speed of legislation is slower than the speed of technology. And while we'll always be rushing to catch up, there's no way to predict the future. So just hang in there and try to create and use your technology ethically. And I'll finish up with a few questions just to pose to you guys, in case you need some prompts for things that we could talk about on a discussion board. But I'm open to questions too. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this technology in general. And, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to me.